What is Ashton Jeanty's ceiling in 2026 with a brand new coaching staff and offensive line? What should we think about Christian Watson? Is he the new number one wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers with Romeo Doubs going to New England? And we'll also be joined tonight by Pete C., a.k.a. Ned the Head, a.k.a. Ned, a.k.a. Fritz Pollard, hanging out with us, answering your emails about Jordan Love, Rashee Rice, and so much more. My name is Eric Balkman. Ferrell Elliott is here. Don't go anywhere. At HSFF Hour Extra Reps starts right now.
Can't stand the pressure. I've seen greater men than need a lesson.
Broadcast live and heard around the world, you are now watching the most entertaining hour of radio on the planet. Welcome to the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by MyFFPC.com with your hosts Eric Balkman and Ferrell Elliott. The High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour is your home for analysis from the best players in the world. And now, because no one else was available, here are Eric Balkman and Ferrell Elliott.
Solace in the scripture. Are we not all our father's sons? I became a man, nobody ever told me what a man was.
Thank you, Rob. Greetings and salutations to all of you Balkaholics and Ferrelliacs. Welcome into the latest episode of the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by MyFFPC.com. I'm your slightly above average host, Eric Balkman. My co-host is the definitive commissioner of fantasy football, Ferrell Elliott. Coming up on tonight's show, we're going to be discussing Juwan Johnson. What does he do in New Orleans with a bereft, as of right now, wide receiver depth chart? Rashee Rice, what is the proper way to handle him in Dynasty League? Speaking of Dynasty Leagues, we got the 20-time FFPC Dynasty champ, Pete C., a.k.a. Fritz Pollard, hanging out with us tonight to answer those questions and so much more. If you are looking to play in the Fantasy Football Players Championship, check it out. MyFFPC.com. Dollar is the lowest that we have for some Dynasty Orphans right now. Empire Dynasty Orphans as well. Those leagues go anywhere from $77 all the way up to $5,000. Many of them are discounted right now. Take advantage. Dollar teams over at the FFPC. Play fantasy football every single day of the year with Dynasty Fantasy Football at myffpc.com. While you're there, you can play in a couple of our best ball tournaments that are going on right now, the Never Too Early Best Ball Tournament and the Never Too Early Superflex Best Ball Tournament. $40,000 and $10,000 grand prizes, respectively. Hurry, those drafts will close when the NFL draft starts, so you got about a month to play in those before we shut those down. The FFPC Big Gorilla also available. That's going to be going up all the way to the start of the NFL season. $1 million grand prize, $350 to enter. The 7 Bananas promo is live. If you keep randomly getting that 7 pick multiple times in a row, we're going to keep throwing free FFPC teams at you. They escalate in value as the more you get those picks in a row. Early Rampage tournament going on with the Big Gorilla as well. So if you join the Big Gorilla, you're not only entered to win that $1 million grand prize, but you will be entered to win a $25,000 grand prize with amongst the first 200 leagues that fill in the Big Gorilla. We also have the Baby Gorilla for the first time this year, $125 to enter a $100,000 grand prize. Register for those and more at myffpc.com. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies, and get notified each and every time we go live. You can connect with us on X at HSFF Hour at Eric Balkman. And of course, the Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championship is found at KFFSC.com. Email the show, as we're going to get to a lot of emails here shortly. High Stakes Fantasy Football at gmail.com. If you have any questions for us, send them in. We'll try to get to all of them in extra reps tonight. It's why we need extra reps, right? We need you guys throwing this stuff at us so we get better at giving you the advice. Now, a guy who doesn't have to get better at anything because he's already the co-host with the most is Ferrell Elliott. He joins me right now. Good evening, Ferrell. How's it going, sir?
I mean, it's always going well when it's extra reps. We got those emails stacked up. We keep talking about tight ends. Didn't you love Wednesday's show when you had Pete C? I kind of wonder what legal law enforcement group that he's actually hiding from with all these aliases. But he seems like a hell of a nice guy, and we've got to get him back tonight. So we've got a lot of things going for us.
Ask and ye shall receive. The 20-time FFPC Dynasty League champ, Fritz Pollard, joins us right now, going by the name Pete C. Pete, welcome in. Happy Friday night to you, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
So take us through. I mean, we were kind of talking about this. You went through different alternate names, or at least usernames for the FFPC. You just don't want anybody knowing exactly who they're dealing with in dynasty leagues. Is that what it is?
Well, it's kind of hard for me too, because I was given the name Peter, but west of the Mississippi, they know me by my middle name. East of the Mississippi, they know me by my first name. My middle name is Nick, and it gets a little difficult for me when I order a pizza and they ask me what my name is. I'll say it's Nick, and they'll repeat back Dick. I'll say my name's Pete, they'll repeat back Keith. So when I order a pizza now, I just say my name is Jim, and I get that pizza lickety split.
Yeah, you can always say my name is Fritz Pollard too.
There you go, Fritz.
Yeah, my name is Fritz. Okay, guys, let's go into some of the emails that we did not get a chance to go through on Wednesday. I'm going to lead things off. These first two are for you, Fritz. The first one comes from Sam in Portland, PA. He says, "Hey, Fritz, aka Pete, how much, if at all, does Romeo Dobbs' exit hurt Jordan Love's numbers this season?" That is from Sam in Portland. Pete, what do you think about that, too? Because he does lose Dobbs, but maybe this doesn't necessarily hurt Love's numbers as a whole. I'll let you talk about it.
The only thing that could hurt Love's numbers if Tucker Kraft doesn't return. Tucker Kraft was about to be an all-pro, and he got injured. Looking forward to him returning, and there's a guy in a yearly league you can get at good value because he's off the radar, especially right now. Teams are wondering, is he going to be ready at the beginning of the season? Supposedly he is, and I'd be buying into him. It's just a straight ACL injury, but they can do miracles with the ACL these days, and I expect Tucker Kraft to be back. I like Dobbs. I think he'll do great in New England, and he did well in Green Bay, but I don't think they're going to miss him a whole lot because they have other bodies over there that need to get the ball. That first-round draft pick, Golden, he needs to get involved more with his speed. That's why they drafted him, number one, and they need to get him involved. Reed has a lot of talent. Christian Watson, he's like a little bit of Pickens where he's oozing talent, and you want to have that guy on your team. So I think Jordan Love's going to be just fine. He needs Tucker Kraft to come back and be healthy. Jacobs is still there, so he has his run game. They need to improve that defense more than anything. I'm not worried about the Green Bay offense. And, and look at Cincinnati. That can be a good thing. When the team defense is not that good, they give up points. Great. That means my team, my fantasy numbers are going to have to perform. And let's hope Green Bay, Micah Parsons won't be back at the beginning of the year. And unless they shore up that secondary, Jordan Love's going to do some throwing this year.
I think you would have a hard time finding any fantasy manager who told you that the Green Bay Packers had the right number of wide receivers last year.
And Ferrell, I'll bring this up to Pete's point. Green Bay does get Micah Parsons back, hopefully for week 1 for that defense. However, think about and this is a good way to look at it. Think of all the players that they've lost on defense, and maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. But Quay Walker went to the Las Vegas Raiders. They traded Colby Wooden, their best run stuffer last year, to the Colts for a guy on the wrong side of 30, Zaire Franklin, to play linebacker there. They've lost those guys. They traded Rashawn Gary, who prior to Micah Parsons getting there was their best edge rusher on the team. He's now in Dallas. They lost Kenny Clark before the start of last season in the Micah Parsons trade. There's and Kingsley Enagbare, who's one of their pass rushers, situational pass rushers. He is now a member of the New York Jets. So they lost him as well. And they already, to Pete's point, they already did have a pretty thin cornerback room, and they don't have a first-round pick this year. As much as we like to, I should say as much as I'd like to believe as a Packers fan, that they're going to be good next year, there is a lot of work to do on this defense, and fantasy owners can benefit, especially if Golden takes a step forward, even with the loss of Dobbs, with the return of Kraft. This could be a banner year for Jordan Love in the offense.
I think you guys have said what needs to be said about this team. It's moving in the right direction.
The next email that we will get to, Pete, this is also for you. What's up, Fritz? What, right? Yeah. What's up? Okay, I got it. What's up, Fritz? with everything going on with the Chiefs on the field and everything going on with Rashee Rice off the field, what am I supposed to do with Rice in Dynasty? Buy, sell, or hold? That is Bill and Austin. Bill, we thank you for the email. I don't know anybody, Pete, who is speaking with any kind of certainty about Rashee Rice. I'm a little bit confused, too. I don't know how to handle this guy. He's got the talent. Pat Mahomes is there, but he's coming off the ACL, and then obviously the stuff off the field could be a significant suspension. What are you doing in your dynasty leagues, in the leagues that you either have Rice or perhaps don't have Rice in?
I'm holding Rice. Do not sell Rice if you own Rice, because, again, you're going to get about 10 cents on the dollar right now for Rice. He's worth much more than that, but you're not going to get that in a trade. I've been offered Rice. I made a trade for Rice, gave up the 112, and Juwan Jennings received Rice and the 4.1 pick. I'm buying Rice for a 2026 late number one, if I can. I'll give up my number one for Rashee Rice because it's improving my wide receiver group, and we've seen these things get worked out. Again, he's probably going to do maybe 6, maybe more games when this all comes to a head, but from what I read, this may go on through the offseason and through next year before this gets penalized by the NFL. So he could play this entire season, and then because the court case, the civil case is still ongoing, the NFL will wait until that case is completed before they could wait until it's completed before they give him the penalty. If that's the case, then he's a screaming buy right now if you can get him at a good price. And I'd look at that. I wouldn't give up a 2027 number one. Some teams have been asking for that, but that's no way, especially in a super flex. But I would buy him at the right price, and I would definitely hold him. Do not try to sell him. That's a mistake that a lot of teams are making right now. They're selling Rashee Rice, and maybe that they don't like his lifestyle, but this is fantasy football. If he gives me points, I'll put up with it.
Pete, put a pin in that 2027 draft pick discussion because I want to come back to you on that. That was the dynasty angle about Rashee Rice. Ferrell, from a redraft angle, I'll ask you this. Wide receiver 11 at the 305 in the FFPC Never Too Early Best Ball Tournament. How do I know that? Fantasy Mojo is how I know that. At Fantasy Mojo on X, fantasymojo.com. Darren Armani runs that website. He's also the godfather of the Pros vs. Joe's Challenge. Anytime we cite ADP on this show, it's due to his website. If you play in the FFPC, definitely get a subscription to fantasymojo.com. What do you make of the wide receiver 11 at the 305 for Rashee Rice? This is right in Collins, Pickens, and Olave territory. You feel like that's a player that's worth investing in, or is the dip not where you want it to be yet?
This was the most fascinating thing about our Super Sunday drafts, Balky. Would you roll back Darren's stats and give me the two receivers right before him and the two receivers right behind him?
For Rice right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For Rice right now in the FFPC.
So Rice at the 305, right before him at the 302 and the 303, Nico Collins, George Pickens. Right after him at the 305, 309, Chris Olave, Teteroa, McMillan.
I like the company that he is keeping, and I can make a case for wanting to take all of those receivers over him in redraft. What we've got here is great advice from Pete C., and I'm thrilled to see that he's willing to give up. And notice he keeps talking about giving up a 111 and 112 pick. So naturally, he's winning.
He's really good at dynasty fantasy.
And so that's how you get the 111 and 112. And I think that's good. I like him more in the dynasty ball because you're playing the long game. The kid will get his life straightened out, and I think he'll be an asset. In the neighborhood of where he's being drafted, both in Kentucky and in the continuing FFPCs, the Big Gorilla, I'm likely to enjoy other stops in that neighborhood more than I would Rashee Rice.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I drafted Rice one time. In fact, I think it was a Kentucky online draft. Rocky Meyer, I want to say. I think I drafted Rashee Rice in that league. But I'm not. He's not a target for me. But I'm not just shrinking up and not drafting him at all. Pete, there is a perception out there that the 2026 draft is pretty weak when it comes to fantasy relevant players, and the 2027 draft is where it's at. Now, I've heard this narrative before, seemingly every year, where we get into this cycle where this year's draft isn't all that great. Next year's is going to be awesome, right? But I'm hearing these whispers are turning to shouts this year. Yeah. I'm wondering what you are doing with your 2026 picks. Have you been trying to package them in order to get more first rounders into 2027, or is this not something you're buying into?
I sold most of my 2026 picks in 2025, as I saw this was going to be a thin draft, and definitely I sold many number 2 picks because I was out on this draft. Now when the draft comes near, and I'm kind of buying some picks here and there because, I'm a fan. But this draft, things can change depending on landing spots. But I count about 6 guys that are going to be impact players. Love, Mendoza, the 3 receivers there, Tyson, Tate, and Lemon, and the tight end from Oregon. Besides that, it gets a little iffy with Concepcion in Boston. We'll see where they end up. But and then, somebody will emerge at running back. They always do. Jonathan Coleman looks good if he gets the right landing spot. So, we could go through the first round with some good players, and that's all usually the case. And really, you can do well drafting late in the first round because you're cleaning up mistakes. You're cleaning up players that some people are a little unsure about and turn out to be, dynasty gold. But in the second round, I only count about 1 or 2 picks in the second round that may be worth something. But we'll see, in your drafts, we'll see who's cut and some of the veterans that are available. And, those you got to make cuts and you have to fill those slots. So, I'll take the picks when I can, but I have sold most of my 2026 picks.
And PC, you may regret that. However, I never hear a scout talk about this group is weak. They go out and they find the talent and they find the players that they like. Now, in our fantasy leagues, I think it's open. Let's talk about Jeremiah Love. Let's just talk about this player. How do you earn, Balky, in the FFPC the 1-1 pick in Dynasty?
You would have to be a team that misses the playoffs, but then gets hot at the end of the regular season.
That's what I did because I've got 3 1-1s.
Congratulations.
And I think I have the pleasure of drafting the next McCaffrey. And I'm not talking about the one that plays in Washington. So I really love this player. It's Balky's favorite receiver, I think, not the one he would draft first, but his favorite one is Concepcion. And I could be wrong, Balky. Don't let me.
I like him quite a bit. Yeah.
Don't let me put words in your mouth. There's a tight end that played down at Vanderbilt that started his career at New Mexico State named Eli Sowers. And we've talked on Wednesday about a number of tight ends. Eli Sowers compares favorably to all of them, I think. And then I heard there's tremendous depth at the wide receiver position in this draft. And then they went to the combine and started breaking speed records at all positions. So I think it's a very exciting draft. I think you can, with your knowledge, Pete, of playing dynasty ball, you're always thinking about the future. That's what I like about what you're doing. And I think as we get closer, we've still got another month. I think you're going to fall in love with some of these guys. You come back on the show and you say, romance bloomed late for Pete in the 2026 draft.
It happens.
We acquired some of those picks and went after them. So
those Mayflowers can do amazing things.
Yep, they have for me as well. Now, Ferrell has the 101 in a bunch of leagues this year. Let's talk about last year's 101 with this email. Henry in Opelika, Florida. How much better will Ashton Jeanty's stats be in 2026 as opposed to his rookie season? Thanks, guys. That is Henry in Opelika. I am bullish on Jeanty. I think they're going to be significantly better. Pete, I'll let you answer this. How do you feel about Jeanty when you look at what's going to happen this season compared to what happened last season in Las Vegas?
If he doesn't continue to get hit 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage like he did last season, he's going to be fine. and he's going to be fine. They got a new center. They've been upgrading, and they will upgrade that offensive line further. I am in on Ashton Jeanty, especially now. Last year, you had to pay a number 1 pick to get him in a yearly league. This year, probably late in the second round, maybe. Right now, you get good value for a stud. I would be in on Ashton Jeanty. I wouldn't worry about being a Raider. The Raiders are really on the right track right now. They've had a good free agent group, just like the Patriots did last year. They have to overpay to get some guys. That's fine. They have the cap space. They got a rookie quarterback coming in. Let's upgrade, and they know they need to upgrade that offensive line. And that was the problem last year for Jeanty. He was getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. Open up some holes for that guy, and he'll be a top 10 running back. I don't know where he finished last year, somewhere around 20th maybe, as far as points are concerned, maybe even worse. But it was a tough season all around. Chip Kelly's offense. This is going to be a completely different season for Ashton Jeanty, and I'd be in on him somewhere in the second round and be fine with it.
You see another Raider evolving from this new offense and this rookie quarterback. Do you see another player that will come to the forefront besides Jeanty?
It's got to be. And, there's someone has to emerge. Hopefully it's going to be a rookie that's going to show something that you can, pin your hopes on, and maybe dynasty hopes. But I don't know who that's going to be right now that's in the organization at the wide receiver position. I know they just picked up that kid from Minnesota who did really well. You may help me out with his name, but he's a number 3 receiver, but he's a good player, and he made some plays for Minnesota in the goal line, and he's going to be an asset. But yeah, it's Bowers or bust, and that's just fine in the FFPC Premium League, tight end Premium League. Plenty of Bowers, and in Bowers we trust, and Brock Bowers will do just fine. Whether there's another wide receiver to his right or left, he's still the number 1, and that's where Mendoza's bread's going to be buttered this year.
Fine football player.
Yeah.
Jalen Naylor was the
Jalen Naylor. Thank you.
Moving
good
from
player.
Very good player. And we'll see how his lot is cast in Las Vegas. I'm looking right now, guys, because Pete, you brought this up as far as where Jeanty finished last year. He was actually running back 13 on a total points basis, right behind Javonte Williams and Josh Jacobs, right in front of Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Swift. And that was with, what we all kind of view as sort of a wretched season. So this could be a big time game.
To say he's going to be in the top 10 is no great statement.
Yeah, no, he should be, right?
Top five.
He's being drafted as running back 7 right now.
So he's a late first-round pick, early second,
201. You're looking at. Obviously, Robinson and Gibbs are at the top 2. McCaffrey is still running back 3. Then you get JT and Achane, and then it's James Cook and Jeanty back-to-back at the 112 and 201.
No one's still on McCaffrey.
Here's the thing. I'd like to think that McCaffrey is a player that is going to be utilized by his team more so for his pass catching skills this year, that they're not going to subject him to the kind of pounding that he did last year where he got so many touches. But I will say this, if they wanted to do that, why wouldn't they bring back Brian Robinson, who they gave up a draft pick for last year? He's still a free agent. I don't know if the Niners are thinking that they're going to be drafting some sort of 1B or backup upgrade in the draft. I don't know what they're thinking. But I don't know. Like, I've drafted McCaffrey once so far this year. I don't know how crazy I want to get with him in the mid-first when I could get guys like, Jamar Chase or JSN or somebody like that. I don't know. I'm
late second round with a good wide receiver. That's maybe a good fit, but you definitely want to get the handcuff. You want to figure out who the handcuff's going to be.
Yeah.
It should be Brian Robinson. They should invite him back for a small contract. I took a look because I have a decision to make on Gerendo. But Gerendo's basically, a special teams guy, and he was a converted wide receiver. And Juwan Jordan did take over at the end of the year for a few games at the very end. So it could be Juwan Jordan. He did put up some numbers at Oregon. He is more of a running back than Gerendo. And right now, unless they invite Brian Robinson back or draft somebody, they're going to draft somebody. Yeah. 49ers always do. They love running back. So we'll kind of see where that one goes. But you definitely want to handcuff McCaffrey. But he was just a monster last year. He probably won't have that season again. They've upgraded the wide receivers. They don't have to depend on him as much. But he's still a stud, and he's going to be wearing a gold jacket someday.
First on Wednesday night, Balky, he disparages Lamar. Now here we come on Friday, and he's picking on Gerendo. Obviously, Pete C., you're going to have to come to Louisville in person to reestablish some relationship with the players here.
I'm going to have to go by another alias.
Exactly. It's going to have to be a new one.
Gerendo's the rare guy on this show that has Wisconsin ties because he was a Badger for several years, and then he moved on to Louisville ties. And Ferrell's
here I am talking crap about him.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
I'll tell you what. He's with the opportunity he's had, he's done a great deal with it. But I believe you might be right. Who knows when the next opportunity is forthcoming?
The next email I want to get to, Ferrell, I'm going to throw this one to you first. Ken in Donaldsonville, Georgia. Since the Saints hardly have anyone to catch Tyler Shuck's passes this year, is Juwan Johnson in for another sneaky good campaign? Ken, we appreciate the email. Ferrell, I'd appreciate your take on Juwan Johnson here. Knowing, listen, the Saints could draft, Tate or Tyson or Lemon or somebody like that, and we're not necessarily talking about this, but that's still just one player. And unless you are a Devon Vele truther, man, the path should be open for Johnson again this year, Ferrell, which we care about in tight end premium leagues like the FFPC.
This is Ken from down in Georgia. Our Mr. Ken must – the part of his question that I am focused on, there's no more sneaky with Juwan Johnson. Anyone can look up the stats. His 77 catches last year. That put him in tight ends. Balky, did that put him in the top 6 in receptions last year? I think if not, he was in that neighborhood, and he outcaught Kelsey amongst others. He didn't find the end zone much, despite the fact he's a target. On Wednesday's show, we talked about the speed tight end, Gadsden, and the slot tight end, Likely. This is a player that's actually smaller in weight than both those guys and actually a little taller in height. I love him in the red zone. I love the maturing quarterback that, by the way, Pete C., went to Louisville, Tyler Shuck. So there you go.
All right, so here's what I have.
Looks really good, too.
Here's what I have. Juwan Johnson finished 5th in the league last year amongst tight ends with 77 catches. Obviously, we know McBride was number 1. Can you guys name the other 3, 2, 3, and 4 on this list as far as most catches amongst tight ends last year? McBride's 1, Juwan Johnson's 5. Who are the 3 in the middle?
It's not Bowers.
It's not Bowers. I imagine it's not Bowers since you're asking.
No, Bowers was 9th with 64 catches.
Well, it'd have to be Tyler Warren's got to be in there.
Tyler Warren was actually 7th.
Oh, wow.
Tyler's not in there.
Phillip Rivers killed his numbers.
I take that back. He tied for 6th with Travis Kelce.
Ferguson is not in there, nor is our man at Philadelphia, Dallas Goedert.
No, Goddard's not. Warren and Kelce both had 1 fewer catch than Juwan Johnson.
Yeah.
The 3 guys in the middle had 88.
Pitts is in there.
Pitts is number 2 with 88, and these other two guys both had 82 catches last year. And maybe this hint gives it away. They both play on separate teams, but within the same state in the United States.
We got some real tempting situations here.
I'm surprised by this. There's one guy that I can see. The other guy, really caught me off guard here.
Yeah. My excuse.
No, it is not the state of
California. Tongass almost had more than Kittle. Come on.
Yeah, right.
It's not the state of California. It is another big state in the country.
That's got to be Florida then, right?
It is not Florida. Now you
No,
got to
that's
Texas.
Texas.
FFPC, come on. There's there's
It is
That'll
Texas.
narrow it down. It's not Rhode Island.
No.
Balky, don't give us this. We're going to get there.
Okay. I gave you the state. All
You
right.
gave us the state.
I
when?
confirmed the state because Pete
Texas.
said the state. It's Texas.
Oh, it's Texas.
Well, it's got to
Okay,
be.
well, it's
You got to
not
be
Ferguson.
Ferguson, no? Ferguson,
Ferguson.
Jake Ferguson.
Ferguson and
Well, the guy at Houston.
yes,
yeah.
Dalton Schultz. For
No.
God's sake.
So
It
they I said it wasn't Ferguson.
Wow. Well,
All right,
that's,
so
that's shock. I'm shocked about.
so-
I really
so
got to dive
Schultz
into
called
the
more
numbers.
than Kelsey, and
So here's-
Ferguson called more than Kelsey.
Yes, he did. Here's what it was.
Mhm.
Number one, McBride
And
126,
Pitts.
Kyle Pitts 88, tied for third. Schultz and Ferguson with 82, Juwan Johnson 77, Kelsey and Warren tied for 76.
Yeah, and Schultz, Ferguson. How many times did he get the ball in the end zone? Ferguson.
8.
Yeah, it was an impressive year.
Yeah,
It was just an impressive year.
he had 8 receiving touchdowns, which
And that's why because look, no one else can answer that question regularly either, because that's why Ferguson was available in the 8th and 9th round of one of my gorilla drafts.
Do you guys know this too? I mean, as long as we're doing trivia here, 8 touchdowns was third in the NFL amongst tight ends for receiving touchdowns. Number one for receiving touchdowns last year for tight ends was a tie with 11. Trey McBride was 1. You guys will never guess the other one.
Goddard was 10.
Goddard was 11. So
Goddard
I guess
was
you would,
11. Yeah.
so I guess you would guess it.
I did. And
That
it was not a guess. It was a true fact of knowledge.
was yeah. Okay, there you go.
I thought he had 10.
Okay, let's move on here with our tight end trivia done for the night. Pete, I'll throw this to you. Hi, Balky and Ferrell. Is the Super Bowl loser curse going to doom Drake Maye now? Keep up the great work. That's Ron in Freehold, New Jersey. Thank you, Ron. You lay it on us. You're the Patriots guy more so than we are, Pete. Super Bowl loser usually does not perform great next year, but maybe that's not true for fantasy wise. No digs for New England. They do have Romeo Dobbs. What are your thoughts on Drake Maye's upcoming 2026 campaign?
They're not done at receiver.
Okay.
There's more to be done within that wide receiver room, and I expect they're ascending.
Pete C went somewhere.
But they're definitely. Oh,
Pete, your audio is
Still
cutting
on?
out a little bit. Might have lost
Come
Pete.
on, Pete, get it back. You
All
got
right.
good
We're
words
try-
to tell.
Trying to get
Oh.
it back for Pete here tonight. Or maybe it's his audio and video. Okay. Farrell, I'm going to throw this to you.
I can.
Okay, hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Pete, go ahead and close out and come back in and see if that fixes it.
You got me? How's this?
Yeah, kind of.
Close out and
there
come
you go.
back
There
in.
you go.
I think that's good.
All right. Farrell, Drake Maye, Pete says they're not done at receiver. Do you believe that?
I do, and through the draft or through free agency, and I'm looking. I don't want the people to think at home that I'm just sitting around here scanning. I'm looking for Boutte being drafted in the Big Gorilla that I'm in, and I don't think we're in the middle of the 18th round. I don't think he's been drafted yet. There are 1,000 yards of digs to distribute amongst this receiving corps.
Mhm.
And there are more receivers on the way. And there's nothing about this quarterback that you can't get behind in New England. This is one of the bright spots of all of the NFL. And whether he has legitimate top shelf, we'll borrow a Bourbon and Bar phrase, legitimate top shelf wide receivers, he'll have the common names that no one knows of. He'll turn them into top performers in fantasy ball. You will not make a mistake by drafting offensive receivers and tight ends on the New England Patriots.
Pete, let me ask you this about Kyle Williams. Are they expecting him to take a step forward, or is he just sort of like another guy on this offense this year? We lose Pete again.
I believe there must be a curfew.
There, definitely. He made a couple of plays, albeit just a handful. Here, I'm okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
No? Sorry, guys.
There
You
must-
got me now? Okay,
There must be some kind
I'll
of
try to
delay.
speak quickly before my Wi-Fi goes.
Go ahead.
What I see with Drake Maye, and Drake Maye reminds me of a generic Josh Allen, and that's a pretty good thing. He runs. He's got a strong arm. He gets the most out of his teammates. I wouldn't worry one bit about trying to help any wide receiver.
I think we're largely in agreement.
He's somebody
PC.
to buy.
I do believe
if
we're
you
in agreement. And it's terrible that we're having these connection issues. It's terrible we're having these connection issues, Balky, because, you saw that Boston Red Sox logo on the wall. And I got Oil Can Boyd in Wednesday's show, and I was coming with another Boston Red Sox reference, and now, Pete C is gone for, he's like Billy Canigliaro and Tony Canigliaro. The career was cut short by an unexpected errant fastball.
Yeah.
And there is our Pete C with his smiling face, albeit frozen in time.
Yeah. Pete, what
Some may tell you I got hit.
This is one for the ages. This is one for the ages. Pete, listen, here's what we're going to do, because the Wi-Fi is telling us to end the show. So what we're going to do is we're going to say thank you to you for not only joining us on Wednesday, but Friday as well. Congratulations on all those Dynasty Leagues you have piled up, Dynasty League championships you piled up with the FFPC. Thank you so much for all the kind words about the FFPC as well. And good luck this season. Enjoy the rookie drafts, enjoy the NFL draft, and enjoy the 2026 season. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Had a great time. Take care.
Pete.
You got it. That is Pete.
Hey, Pete's going to get an invite to come down to Kentucky.
Yeah, he should. That'd be a lot of fun. Now here, I do want to do one more email here, Ferrell.
Okay.
It's from Scott in Garner, North Carolina, and
Wonder what he's up to.
John Lincoln was actually asking about this on Wednesday. We never got to it. I want to pay that off tonight. Scott in Garner, North Carolina. What's up, fellas? What kind of ascent is Christian Watson going to make in another contract year? That is Scott in Garner, North Carolina. If you remember, Watson was extended 1 year last year so that he would not have to rush back to try to do anything significant in the 2025 season. He's under contract 2026. I think the Packers want to re-up him again and keep him around. But as of right now, Ferrell, it's a contract year. What do you think he's going to be doing in this offense with no more Romeo Doubs?
Pete C would be all over this because he would talk about the contract year. He loves players in the contract year. Watson is one of my favorite players to watch in fantasy football. He is without a doubt a best ball darling. In the best ball drafts, I think he should go 2 or 3 rounds ahead of where he goes in the normal redrafts. But I don't believe you can go wrong with Watson. And his ceiling has not yet even been scratched. He's that kind of player to me. I believe that he had a healthy season last year. He'll have a healthier year this year. You can't go wrong with Christian Watson. I can't make a case for you not drafting Christian Watson anywhere in the draft.
He will turn 27 years young in May. So he's definitely in his prime here. And I will say this too. I feel like I do this every time we talk about Watson, but the soft tissue stuff, he has not missed any games since he due to soft tissue injuries since he got study done on him at the University of Wisconsin-Madison that found that one of his hamstrings, was 20% weaker than the other one. They balanced that out, got the proper diagnosis, the proper treatment, and the only time he has missed since then was a torn ACL, which...
And I am honored that a broadcast professional like yourself would offer me a query from the Green Bay Packers, considering that you are in north-south Wisconsin and very well prepared to answer those questions.
North-south Wisconsin. Yes, that is where I'm from and where I'm in right now. I do believe that the question for me this year is not what's the impact of no Dobbs on Watson. The question for me is what's the impact of Kraft and Watson sharing the field at the same time. I think that's much more compelling, something we will explore over the next several months during
a nightmare for the Bears lines and Vikings secondaries.
I wouldn't say nightmare, but certainly not pleasant to deal with. Ferrell, it is always pleasant to be drafting on the platform known as the Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championship at KFFSC.com. I will find so many of the viewers and the listeners there as we go forward throughout this summer. Sign up now. I'm in 3 drafts right now. Fill those up. Let's get going on that. KFFSC.com. Ferrell, enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for joining me again this evening.
Buddy, I will look forward to seeing you on Wednesday and Friday next week.
You got it. That is Ferrell Elliott, the definitive commissioner of fantasy football. And that will wrap up the programming we have for the FFPC family of podcasts this week. I want to thank Pete C., a.k.a. Fritz Pollard, Ferrell Elliott, the FFPC, Rob Bryce, and, of course, each and every one of you. We will be back next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be a lot of fun when we get involved in that show. You can watch Insider Access in case you missed it last night with Shane Hallam and myself, 2 full hours. A lot of fun stuff from the Draft Sharks with Wunderkind talking about the rookies this year's rookie class. You can watch Extra Reps is what you're watching right now. So we'll be back here 10 o'clock next Friday as well with another episode of Extra Reps. Dynasty and Empire Orphans available right now for as little as $1 at myffpc.com. FFPC Never Too Early Best Ball Tournament going on, and the Never Too Early Superflex Best Ball Tournament going on. $35 to enter that. $10,000 grand prize, $125 to enter the Never Too Early Best Ball Tournament, $40,000 grand prize there as well. The FFPC Big Gorilla, $350 to enter a $1 million grand prize, 7 bananas and early Rampage tournament going on right now. $25,000 grand prize in that early Rampage tournament. The Baby Gorilla also available. $125 to enter a $100,000 grand prize. Register for those and more at myffpc.com. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, share with your friends, share with your enemies, and get notified each and every time we go live. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. For Ferrell Elliott, for Pete C., I'm Eric Balkman. Your weekend officially starts now.
This has been another episode of the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by myffpc.com. It was broadcast live and was watched around the world. Balky and Ferrell will be back next week with more analysis, more interviews, and more advice from guests much smarter than they are. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk with you again next week.
Yourself.